Ooh. Now, listen, some movies are really hard to watch, and there are the other movies that are really hard to endure. You know, films that like test your own spirit right alongside the characters on screen. And for decades, one of Stephen King's bleakest and most beloved early novels was considered completely unfilmable. It's a story that is simple in its setup, but it's crazy harrowing in its execution. So much so that it sat in development hell for almost 30 years, over 30 years. But after a journey that saw it pass through the hands of legends like George A. Romero and Frank Darabont, it's finally here. Francis Lawrence, the director behind the best of the Hunger Games films, has taken on the impossible. He's delivered a cinematic gut punch that I think people will be debating for a long time, at least talking about. This very brutal Stephen King movie isn't just horror. It's an unflinching look at humanity under the most extreme pressure you can imagine. It's really a film that will stick with you, it'll probably haunt you, and in the end, it'll move you. And in my opinion, I mean, really, there really isn't no doubts about it. It's a perfect 10 out of 10. But what makes a story about a bunch of dudes walking to their deaths a cinematic masterpiece? I think it comes down to really one thing, and that is the friendship. Starting with just the premise of the movie. For anyone who hasn't read the iconic 1979 novel, I Am One of Them, written under King's pseudonym Richard Bachman, the setup is pretty friggin' simple. We're in a dystopian alternate history America ruled by this totalitarian regime under a figure who is known as the Major, played by Mark Hamill. And every year, the nation is obsessed with this televised spectacle called The Long Walk. Now, in the novel, it's 100 teenage boys that are picked, but for the movie, they went with 50, each person representing their home state. But they're chosen by this lottery to start walking. And the rules are simple, but kind of crazy. They have to maintain this walking speed of at least 3 miles per hour. If they slow down, then they get a warning. They get 3 warnings. You're ticketed. You're out of there. Dunzo. There is no finish line, and the walk only ends when one person is left standing. And that lone survivor gets the grand prize. Anything that they want for the rest of their life. It's definitely a blood sport that's disguised as a game show and designed to really pacify a terrified population. And from the very first frame, Francis Lawrence plunges us headfirst into this very grim reality. And let's talk about the heart of The Walk, friendship in the face of this horror. A movie with a premise that is as bleak as this could have easily been an exercise in nihilism or just a monotonous parade of suffering that leaves you feeling really numb. But I think that The Long Walk soars past its own brutality because it understands that the story is not about the walk. It's about the walkers. The film's entire emotional weight rests on the incredible chemistry of its young cast. And most importantly, the powerful and believable friendships that bloom along the road. Very long road. The absolute soul of this film is really the relationship between Ray, who is played with a watchful and soulful decency by Cooper Hoffman, and Pete, who's brought to life with magnetic, roguish charm by David Johnson. Ray Garrity is kind of every man, the moral center of the group, whose quiet acts of kindness feel like somewhat of a rebellion in a world that's designed to crush them. And Pete, on the other hand, uses real quick wit and a bottomless well of optimism to really keep despair at bay. Even though they know that only one of them can make it out of this thing, they still decide and go through and form a bond that really anchors the entire film. They help each other, they share stories, they find ways to keep going. Minute by minute and hour by hour, their evolving brotherhood carries the emotional weight of this movie. And the critics, they're right to praise this for the dynamic and call it the key to the film's success. This central friendship is really beautifully rounded out by this smaller group that forms around them. There's the pragmatic and kind Arthur Baker, played by Tut Nyot. Really hope I didn't mess that up too bad. And also Hank Olsen, who is crazily wisecracking, played by Ben Wang, who I was really interested to see in this movie. Was kind of my main draws coming off of the latest Karate Kid movie. He did a really good job. But together, this little small band of brothers create a bubble of humanity against the inhumanity of their situation. I mean, within this crazy movie, they joke, they argue, they confess their fears, and they support each other through this unimaginable pain, dude. The script, though, that's written by J.T. Molnar masterfully weaves these moments of camaraderie and humor all in between the constant suspense and violence that's going on around it. And it's really in those moments, you know, a shared canteen of water, a hand on the shoulder to help somebody from falling, or even a quiet joke that kind of cuts the tension. It makes the argument that even when facing certain death, It's our connection to each other that really is the last thing to go. But I want to talk about this unflinching brutality, man. Look, let's not get it twisted. The film is brutal. It definitely earns its R rating and probably then some. And Francis Lawrence, who proved with the Hunger Games that he knows how to stage dystopian dread, makes the choice not to sanitize the horror here. I mean, to keep it real, when one of the guys gets their final warning, the camera doesn't shy away from that. You see it, you hear it, and you really feel it. I mean, the violence is visceral, it's ugly, and it's sickeningly matter of fact. And what's crazy too is that the deaths are not heroic. They're pitiful, raw, and often deeply undignified. I mean, dude, it's sad, bro. You'll see guys cry for their mothers, beg for mercy that just doesn't come. And what's crazy is that the horror isn't just graphic violence either. It's in the relentless psychological toll that the walk takes on the characters. The movie itself is a masterclass in building suspense from monotony. I mean, it's the boots on the pavement, the soldiers that are always there and always present, just looming over you. It all really combines to create this atmosphere of suffocating dread. You feel the exhaustion they're watching this movie. You feel their blisters and the cramps in their muscles, the hope that's draining away with every mile. And there are so many miles. The cinematography that's done by Joe Willems, it does a good job of keeping you locked in on this seemingly endless road, trapping the characters and the audience in this kind of like spiritual purgatory. This unflinching approach is vital. It forces us to really confront the reality of the spectacle, kind of making us complicit spectators. I mean, just like the people who are in the movie that line the road and want to see these boys die. It gets really dark. It ensures that the friendships that we've become so invested in this entire movie are always under threat, raising the stakes to a crazy level. The stakes are so high. But to answer the question you're probably wondering, why is it a masterpiece? I mean, what makes this movie a 10 out of 10? Honestly, I think it's because that it pulls off a nearly impossible balancing act. I mean, The Long Walk is one of the most heartbreaking and harrowing films of the year, but I think it's also the most heartfelt and hopeful. Do I dare even compare it to Sinners as far as its tone and the emotion behind it? It's a perfect synthesis for its brutal premise and its deeply human core. And for that, I think the credit has to go to Francis for his direction. I mean, he took a minimalist, methodical concept that many people thought was unfilmable, and he kept it dramatically gripping for its entire runtime. I was invested beginning to end. The performances that he gets from this really young cast are phenomenal. I mean, Kaufman's Ray Garrity is a revelation. David Johnson is a star-making force as Pete. But even beyond the leads, I mean, the film skillfully sketches its secondary characters, giving each just enough personality to make their inevitable fate feel like a genuine loss. On top of that, the film's social commentary is sharp, but it's not preachy. The totalitarian society that's embodied by a very chilling performance by Mark Hamill as the Major provides a pretty scary backdrop. His presence effectively symbolizes this oppressive regime that enjoys the suffering it's creating. Ultimately, the film is just a powerful metaphor for the walk of life itself, a journey defined not by the inevitable end that we're all going to see, but by the connections that we managed to make along the way. Something I really didn't think about until after I seen it. It was all over. To kind of conclude this though, I think that The Long Walk is a monumental achievement in the world of Stephen King adaptations. With critics already calling it one of the best of all time, it's a film that respects the absolute brutality of its source material while elevating its deep-seated humanity. It's a showcase for an incredible ensemble of actors, led by a career-defining performance from Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson. This movie, in a strange way, is both incredibly difficult to watch, but absolutely impossible to look away from. I had to use the bathroom so bad in the theater the entire third act, and I refused to go because every moment in this movie matters. Every piece of dialogue, every visual scene, everything matters. It's a really good story about endurance, about the flicker of hope in the face of despair, and about the profound and life-affirming power of friendship. It's very heavy. It's a heavy movie, and it is a very emotionally charged thriller that will leave you feeling so many different type of ways. But I definitely think it's something worth watching. It's a journey worth taking. In my opinion, it's really a true masterpiece that'll make you never want to walk on pavement ever again. But that's where I'm gonna throw the discussion your guys' way, man. The Long Walk, it's in theaters now. I honestly can't recommend it enough. Have you had a chance to go and check it out yet? If you did, what did you think of the performances from Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson? Let me know your spoiler-free thoughts, please, down in the comments below. And as always, If you enjoyed this review, this little deep dive that we had, and you made it this far, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so that we can get this video fleshed out to more people and you don't miss any of the future reviews that do come out. It helps out the channel and I really appreciate that, so thank you. But y'all make sure you stay geeked, man. I'm out of here and y'all be smooth.